Alright folks, welcome to another beer review. Look like an absolute mess today, but who gives a fuck? Right, so today we're going back over to Polly's, and this is a can of Byth, and I know I'm not saying that correctly. Welsh Red Ale, 5%, brewed with Amarillo, Cascade and Simcoe, brewed on Polly's farm in Mold, North Wales. Augment range, Blythe, is it? I'm not too sure. I'm not sure if this is like part of a series, considering that there's, I'd imagine the Augment range and Blythe is a location. Yeah, I'm pleading ignorance, because there's just no excuse. This was kindly gifted to me by the wonderful Mersey Beers, as always. Greatly appreciated. Long overdue to do a beer order, so expect a message soon, or you know, we may well have already done that beer order, who knows. So yeah, massive thank you. Got a few Polly's and a mystery beer which I need to upload. Anyway, I do enjoy a good red ale, especially a very hop forward one. So let's see what we get with this. The good thing, and I think I've mentioned this before on other sort of like red IPA, red ale sort of reviews, is it's a good way to get that old school, like resiny, marmaladey, piney West Coast kick. But then again, I have been having some really like tip-top West Coast IPAs and pales would actually taste like what I remember, which is very distorted, of course, and romanticised. That's the one for you, Paul. Yeah, he loves it when I use that word. But he won't romanticise me, will he? His loss. Anyway, a jest, of course. But yeah, I do find it's a good way to get a West Coast flavour. And, you know, you're, pardon the pun, pining for like a really upfront, almost abrasive West Coast, because that's what I like about West Coast. I don't want a subtle IPA, because then to me it just tastes like a generic IPA, which nothing wrong with that. But yeah, it is what it is. So red ale, because with those hops, hopefully they come through nicely. It's certainly the hop bill you would expect, and that's a really nice darker than ruby red. Nice bit of haze to it. Just half a thing's worth of a slightly beige looking head. I'm saying this because it's that time of the year when we get this beer in the UK, but I'm instantly getting, on the visual side of things, Sierra Nevada Celebration IPA vibes. Maybe that's who I'm going to do a beer order with, do a nice big Sierra Nevada beer order, get some like big bold beers in. We shall see. Do they still have a UK distribution like website? I'm not too sure. I've not really checked, but you know, to be able to get hold of some like big bold beers would be very nice. But yeah, it reminds me of Sierra Nevada Celebration IPA, which hopefully I can get a few cans of. It certainly looks the part. Let's see what we get on the nose. Oh, it's definitely marmaladey. There's almost like a cranberry red currant sort of element to it as well. A little bit of sweetness. Slight, almost dark vanilla character. That smells really nice and satisfying. Like a seasonal wax melt. It doesn't smell like as intense as that or synthetic. In fact, it doesn't smell synthetic at all. It just smells really, a little bit resiny. But then there's like a nice bready rye note coming through. Okay, yeah, it smells really good. For the weather that we've been having, it's that time of the year. Let's see what we get with this one then. So cheers Adam, Mr. Mersey Beers. As always, greatly appreciated. Oh yeah. Upfront bitterness. It's a nice bitterness in the mid part of the beer, and then a really satisfying bitter finish. piney. It's got a bit of a spruce-like character. I've not had a beer with spruce in for God knows how long. I think the last one I had was like a Mikkeller Christmas beer. But yeah, like berries, cranberries. There's a nice maltiness there as well. Almost like a slight mulled character. Beautiful hop profile. Oh, it's that bitterness for me, which is just hitting all the right spots. There's like a slight sweet, dark cakiness to it as well. But at the same time, like slight woodiness. It's actually quite a complex beer, to be fair. Oh, excuse me. And it does slightly have a very West Coast-esque, but I think you're going to get that with those, you know, hops that are used. I mean, Cascade, what a classic. Simcoe, I'm a big lover of Simcoe. It doesn't have that sort of like raspy, like cat litter character, which I do genuinely think that is when you get a potent Simcoe. As someone who briefly owned a cat with who was once my better half back in Germany, romanticising about that again, Paul. Yeah, I've never had a cat since, and I miss it, man. I miss having a cat, like a nice indoor lazy, gawpy cat. But as I'm trapped in the house that I grew up in, yeah, there's not really any chance of us getting a cat anytime soon, unless I just find a stray and bring it home. And trying to get on the, even like a shit flat in Scan. My God, good luck with that. Anyway, enough of my millennial woes. Who remembers that guy? Anyway. But yeah, this is really, really good. This is just what the doctor ordered. It snowed today, or well, through the night. It's cold. You're wrapping up nice and warm. Aside from Christmas, because I'm over Christmas, and people are putting their like Christmas trees up now. It's, you know, it's only going to be the 20th of November, for Christ's sake. Do you know what I mean? Heart Radio's got that specialised radio station that just plays Christmas songs all the fucking time. Yeah. Even though I'm a child at heart, I'm very, very immature for a 35-year-old. I'm still quite a Scrooge when it comes to Christmas. But it is what it is, do you know what I mean? Just gives me an excuse to buy some really nice food, stock up on cheese and cured meats to make phenomenal cheese boards, stock up on beers that I'm going to say till Christmas that you don't actually drink over Christmas, and then you've like got loads of like imperial stouts left over, and a mini keg of a very desserty cakey stout, which is a chore to drink. But yeah, that's all it is really. There seems to be less people that I need to buy presents for. Very bleak, but you know, that's probably one of the only plus sides about losing a relative, is that you don't have to, you know, spend money on them for Christmas, although it's going to be really wank. It's going to be a weird Christmas, not going to lie, but I don't want to, you know, put a damper on it. I've got my family, you know, I've got a roof over my head. I can buy a few things for myself, treat the ones that I love, and just gorge on beer, chocolate, and all sorts. So that to me is why I like Christmas. But Christmas itself, get the fuck in the sea. Do you know, if you can't laugh at the absurdities of life, especially if you've lost a loved one, or find, you know, And I come from a family that's got very dark humour when it comes to any sort of situation like that. But apologies if it, caused any offence, because I know quite a few people have lost loved ones this year. It's never easy, but at the same time, you've got to live your life, haven't you? Really, and keep the memory alive and do them proud. Because they wouldn't want you to be sat around moping all the time. Not that there's anything wrong with that, because every time, it can just hit you like that. A stupid, little keepsake that you found, or, a favourite episode of their TV programme that they loved that shows on the telly, or, there's just even hearing a song play in someone's car as it goes past. It could just, anything can trigger those sort of memories, do you know what I mean? Not to get all preachy, because you don't need a 35-year-old fucking child essentially to tell you, how to deal with love and loss. But it is what it is, man. And yeah, I have me dark days. I mope around a bit, don't help myself. But at the same time, there's nothing worse than living a life of misery and just focusing on the bleak stuff. Because Christmas is always going to be a tough time for people. Why the fuck am I carrying on talking about this? Not to put a damper on the beer, which is damn fine, by the way. Long overdue, some Polly's, so massive thank you again to Mersey Beers. So I'm going to make myself a sort of a spice bag. Just because I'm lazy and it's an air fryer job. I can't be arsed cooking. That's a resolution for next year, to actually cook a lot more like I used to, because I'm just dependent on frozen stuff, and it's not good, man. Especially since I'm now a RFK Jr. fanboy. Anyway, cheers for watching. If you've tried it, let me know your thoughts, opinions down below. Links to the brewery in the description. And of course, link to Mersey Beer's channel. And yeah, lovely stuff, hitting the spot, and I'd like to hit your spot. Bye.